Don't forget to like and subscribe to Jolie Knots Crochet. Share with your friends. Hit that little notification bell so you can get notified when new patterns release. All our videos are available in left and right-handed tutorials. Hi everyone, welcome back to Jolie Knots Crochet. I'm Crystal and today we're going to be making this feathered beanie. Now this beanie is made with the feather stitches in the round. I have completed it in this color actually because I wanted a matching set for my fingerless gloves that were released last week. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description box for this. I've also completed this stitch in the Yarn Bee Chloe, the color French Rose. Now for both of these, I worked with a 6mm hook in the feather stitches, and then when we switched to the ribbing, we switched to a 5mm hook. So you'll need a 5 and a 6. I'll put a picture up of the smaller size that I made for one of my daughter's friends. Now this one I used in a very bulky 4-weight yarn. It's more like a 5-weight yarn, but I did this one in an 8mm hook, and I went the size of a toddler for an elementary school age child because, of course, you know, we've got a bigger yarn and a hook, and for that one I used a 6mm for the band. Okay, this pattern does come in a toddler, child, and adult size. The yarn that we're using today is Yarn Bee's Rustic Romance. This skein is 3.5 ounces and 228 yards. The color is Faded Porch Swing, and it is 15% hemp and 85% acrylic. All right, you're also going to need some scissors and a tapestry needle to weave in your ends. Go ahead and grab your materials and we will get started. We're going to start with a magic ring. You can start with chain 4 and slip stitch if you like. I just prefer the magic ring so that my cinch is a little bit closer. I do have a tutorial and I'll leave it in the description box for the magic ring a little bit slower so that you can see it better. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put 12 half double crochets into your ring. Once you've got that, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch to the top of your first half double crochet. Chain 1, and now you're going to put 2 half double crochets into the top of every half double crochet. So you should have 24 half double crochets at the end of this round. Okay, once you've got your 24 half double crochets, we are not going to slip stitch, and at this point we're going to start working in continuous rounds. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a setup row of feathers. Let me show you how we're going to work that setup row. Our feathers are going to have 3 legs. Now, our first leg for the first feather here is going to be in between our chain 1 space and our half double crochet. Your second leg is going to be worked into the first round, and it's going to be between your first and your second half double crochet. Now I know it's a little bit hard to see, but if you look at where your stitches are worked, all you should need to do is move down from there and insert your hook that way. Okay? Now your third leg is going to be 2 half double crochets over in between your second and your third half double crochet. So essentially our feathered stitch is similar to a puff stitch with 3 legs, and we are hugging our half double crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook between your chain space and your first half double crochet and pull up a loop. Yarn over, find where your first half double crochet ends and your second half double crochet begins. Insert your hook, pull up a loop. Yarn over, skipping 2 half double crochets, and in the space between your second and your third half double crochet, that's where you'll pull up your loop. You should now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 7 loops. Chain 1 to secure. The next feather stitch, let me show you where your legs will go. Your next stitch will always start in the same place where your last one ended. From there, you'll go down and move over 1/2 double crochet from the second leg in your previous feather stitch. That's where you'll put your second leg from your next feather stitch. So going all the way around, we're just going to have one in between. Your third leg will go 2 1/2 double crochets over in between the second and the third 1/2 double crochet. Okay, so yarn over into the first space where we ended our last double crochet, 1/2 double, pull up a loop, moving down to the first round, over 1/2 double crochet from the previous, pull up a loop. And now, after skipping 2 1/2 double crochets and before your third one is where our next leg will go. Yarn over, pull through all, and chain 1 to secure. That's your second one. Now our third one, into the last space worked, pull up a loop. Second one, down into the first round, skipping 1/2 double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, in between our second and our third 1/2 double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all. So go ahead and continue to work that around, and I'll meet you back before you begin the next round. Okay, now that we've completed our third round, which is our first round of feathered stitches, let me show you how to get started on the next round. Now, each of these feathers that we're going to be working are going to be hugging the feather. So our first leg is going to be before the feather stitch. Our second leg is going to be in the same spot that the first leg was worked into. And then our third leg is going to be directly after the feather stitch. So yarn over into the space before the feather stitch, yarn over into the space the first leg was worked into, pull up a loop, yarn over, and into the space directly after your feather stitch, and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all, chain 1 to secure. And here's where we're going to start our increase. So after our first feather, you're going to put a 1/2 double crochet into the same space. We're going to do that with every feather stitch. So work your feather stitch now. So before your feather, yarn over, same space your first leg was worked into. From that feather you're working around, pull up a loop, yarn over, and into the space after the feather. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through all. Chain 1 to secure, and 1/2 double crochet. That's your repeat. Feather, 1/2 double crochet. We're going to have a 1/2 double crochet in between every single feather stitch that we're working in this round. Okay, here I am at the beginning of my 5th round. What we're going to do now is work our same feather stitch around our feather, and then our increase is going to be working a feather stitch around our 1/2 double crochet. So let me show you. Yarn over, insert your hook into the space before your feather stitch. Pull up a loop. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same space that your first leg from that feather stitch was worked into. Pull up a loop. Now yarn over and insert your hook into the space after your feather stitch. Remember, we are hugging our feathers. Pull through all, chain 1 to secure. Now around our 1/2 double crochet, here's how we're going to work it. Yarn over, insert our hook into the space before the half double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the space that the half double crochet was worked into, and pull up a loop. And now we're going to yarn over and go into the space after the half double crochet. So essentially we're just like covering up that half double crochet. Chain 1 to secure, and now we're going to work our feather stitch around our feather. Before the feather, yarn over. Second leg is the space directly underneath that where your first leg was worked. Pull up a loop, and your third leg is right after the feather stitch. Continue working that out until you get all the way around and you have no more half double crochets to work. Okay, here we are at the end of the round. At this point you should have 24 feather stitches. Now, if you are making a toddler size, this is where you will stop your increasing and you will continue working feather stitches around your feather stitches, hugging each one until you get to the desired depth that you want for your hat, which should be approximately 6 to 7 more rounds. And then you can come back and meet me here for the band. Now, if you are making an adult size, we are going to be adding 1 feather stitch after every 2 feathers. So you'll see this feather stitch is coming from the bottom, from all the way from round 1 is where the middle leg is, and this is a new feather stitch. So we're going to add 1 half double crochet after every new feather stitch. Okay, I'm going to show you, so if you're confused, don't worry. Now for a child sized, say elementary school sized, we are going to add a half double crochet after every other new feather stitch. So you'll have one here, you will skip the next new feather stitch, and then you'll add one here. So we're increasing after every other new feather stitch. So let me show you. Beginning this round, feather stitch hugging my previous feather stitch. And there's one. This is my newest feather stitch, so I'm going to work a feather stitch around that. And this is where I'll have my increase. Half double crochet. Now, working a feather stitch around the next feather. And the next one. You'll notice this is our new row of feather stitches. I am going to half double crochet in here for an increase because I want 12 increases all the way around for an adult. For a child, you will not put this half double crochet. You'll work your feather stitch, you'll work your feather stitch, and then you'll half double crochet. So you're going to have 6 half double crochets all the way around for your increasing. 12 half double crochets for an adult, 6 half double crochets for a child. This will be your last round of increasing. Once you finish your last round of increasing, an adult will go 10 more rounds approximately, more or less one depending on the depth that you like, and a child size will go approximately 8 more rounds of feather stitches. I will meet you right back here to show you how to get started on the band. Okay, I have just completed my increasing, and to work the band I'm going to switch to a 5mm hook. Now how I am going to decrease from here is what I'm going to do is single crochet into the space. And then from there, I'm going to put a front post double crochet around my feather stitch. Half double crochet into the space, front post double crochet around my feather stitch. Half double crochet, front post double crochet. Do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Okay, here I am right before the beginning. I'm putting my last front post double crochet around my feather stitch, and where my single crochet was, I'm going to put a half double around the entire single crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the top of my front post double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 2 and front post double crochet around the front post double crochet, and then back post double crochet around my half double crochet. And then switching off, we'll just repeat that. Front post around your front post double crochet, back post around your half double crochet, all the way around, and I'll meet you back again to complete the round. All right, I've just completed my next round. Now I'm just going to chain 2 and around, well, slip stitch first to your front post double crochet, chain 2, and we're going to do the same thing, but now of course we're going around our front and back post double crochets. So you'll work a front post double crochet around your front posts and a back post double crochet around your back post. Now if you are making a toddler size, you're going to go about maybe 3 or 4 rounds of ribbing. And if you are making a child size, you're going to go about 4 or 5 rounds, or to the width that you like. And for an adult size, we'll go 5 or 6 rounds. And that's just approximate. You can do however many rounds you like. If you like a thicker ribbing, then, you know, make it longer. If you want it to be a little bit thinner, then make it shorter. All right, thank you everybody for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like and share, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.